You're sitting in the dealership. The salesman just handed you the keys for a test drive. The car smells like possibility. The seats are heated. The sound system is doing something to your brain that should probably be illegal. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a very quiet voice is saying, you can't really afford this. You buy it anyway. And in that moment, that exact moment, you make a decision that will shape your financial life for the next decade. Not your mortgage. Not your student loans. Your car. My name is Nick, and today we're going to talk about why the vehicle sitting in your driveway right now is quietly one of the most destructive financial decisions most people ever make, and why almost nobody realizes it until it's already too late. Let's start with what you think your car costs. You see the monthly payment. Maybe $520 a month. That's the number that lives in your head. That's the number you used when you convinced yourself it was affordable. Here's what that number doesn't include. Insurance. The national average for full coverage on a financed vehicle is $1,920 a year. That's $160 a month you're already not counting. Registration and taxes. Depending on your state, another $30 to $100 a month. Fuel. The average American spends $3,000 a year on gas. $250 a month. Maintenance. Oil changes, tires, brakes, filters. Budget $100 a month minimum on a newer vehicle. More on anything older. Depreciation. This one is invisible, but it's the most brutal of all. The average new car loses 20% of its value in the first year. On a $40,000 vehicle, that's $8,000 gone in 12 months. $667 a month, evaporating, whether you drive it or not. Add it up. That $520 monthly payment is actually costing you over $1,700 a month when you run the real numbers. On a $55,000 take-home salary, that's 37% of your income. On a single depreciating asset that is guaranteed to be worth less tomorrow than it is today. Think about that for a second. Let's talk about depreciation specifically because it's the cost nobody teaches you. When you buy a new car and drive it off the lot, it immediately loses 10% of its value. Before you've made a single payment. Before you've put a single mile on it. The moment you own it, it's worth less. By year 3, the average new car has lost 40 to 50% of its purchase price. So that $40,000 car you bought is now worth $22,000. You've lost $18,000. And if you financed it, which 85% of new car buyers do, you might actually owe more than it's worth right now. That's called being underwater. And it's not a rare situation. It's the default outcome of buying a new car in America. Here's where it gets really interesting. That $18,000 in lost value over 3 years? If you had invested it instead, at the historical average market return of 10%, it would be worth $24,000 in 3 years. $40,000 in 5. $117,000 in 20. Your car didn't just cost you $18,000. It cost you $117,000 in future wealth. That's the number that should be on the window sticker. It never is. So why does everyone keep doing this? Why do otherwise intelligent people keep buying cars they can't really afford? Because cars are emotional purchases disguised as practical ones. Nobody buys a $45,000 SUV because they need to transport themselves from point A to point B. A $12,000 used Honda does that just as well. People buy $45,000 SUVs because of how it feels to drive one. Because of how other people look at them in the parking lot. Because of what they think it says about who they are. The car industry has spent 100 years and billions of dollars making sure you feel exactly that way. Every advertisement, every dealership layout, every limited time offer, is engineered to move you from rational thinking to emotional spending as fast as possible. And the monthly payment framing is the most powerful weapon in their arsenal. When a salesman says, "It's only $580 a month," your brain doesn't calculate the total cost. It doesn't think about insurance, depreciation, maintenance, or opportunity cost. It asks one question: can I cover $580 this month? And if the answer is yes, your brain says go ahead. That's not budgeting. That's financial survival mode disguised as a purchase decision. Let me show you two people. Same income. Same age. One decision separates their entire financial future. Meet Tyler and Marcus. Both 27. Both making $65,000 a year. Take home, about $4,300 a month. Tyler buys a new 2025 Toyota Camry. $32,000 financed at 7% over 60 months. Payment, $634 a month. Add insurance, gas, maintenance. Tyler's real car cost $1,150 a month. That's 27% of take-home income. Tight, but he makes it work. Marcus buys a 2020 Toyota Camry. Same car, 5 years older. $16,000 cash. He saved for 2 years to buy it outright. No payment. Insurance is cheaper, $95 a month. Same gas costs. Same maintenance. Marcus's total car cost, $345 a month. 8% of take-home income. The difference, $805 a month. Every month. For 5 years. Marcus takes that $805 and invests it in an index fund every single month for those same 5 years. At 10% average annual return, Marcus has $62,000 at the end of year 5. Tyler has a 5-year-old car worth $18,000 and nothing in the market. Same income. Same age. One car decision. $62,000 gap. Now extend that out. Marcus keeps investing. By age 45, 18 years after that decision, the compounding on those 5 years of contributions alone has grown to over $300,000. Tyler bought a car that felt slightly nicer for 5 years. $300,000. For a car that smelled like new plastic. But here's the part that makes this even worse. Most people don't just make the car mistake once. They make it on a cycle. The average American keeps a new car for about 6 years. Then, they trade it in, often while still underwater on the loan, and finance a new one, rolling the negative equity from the old loan into the new loan, making the hole deeper every single cycle. There's a term for this in the industry, the payment treadmill. You never pay the car off. You just keep moving from one payment to the next, always owing, always depreciating, always starting over. The dealership loves this. Your retirement account hates it. The average American will own 12 cars in their lifetime. If each cycle costs them even $30,000 in real wealth, payments, depreciation, lost investment, that's $360,000 over a lifetime. For transportation, that a used Corolla would have provided for a fraction of that cost. So what does a smart car decision actually look like? Not no car. For most people that's not realistic. A smart car decision. Rule 1. Buy used, not new. The first buyer takes the depreciation hit. You don't have to. A 2 to 3 year old vehicle with 25,000 to 35,000 miles has already lost 30 to 40% of its value. You get a nearly new car at a dramatically lower price, and the depreciation curve flattens significantly after year 3. Rule 2. Total car cost under 15% of take-home pay. Not the payment. Everything. Insurance, gas, maintenance, registration. If the full picture is over 15%, the car is too expensive for your current situation. This is non-negotiable if you actually want to build wealth. Rule 3. If you finance, keep it under 48 months at a rate below 5%. 60 and 72-month loans exist to make unaffordable cars feel affordable by shrinking the monthly number. They don't make the car cheaper. They make it significantly more expensive in total interest while trapping you in the depreciation cycle longer. Rule 4. Drive it until the wheels fall off. The sweet spot for car ownership is years 4 through 10. The loan is paid or nearly paid. The major depreciation is done. You're paying a fraction of what you paid in year 1. Every additional year you drive a paid-off car is a year you're redirecting that payment into your own financial future. Here's what nobody tells you about driving a modest, paid-off car in your 20s and 30s. It is one of the single most aggressive wealth-building moves you can make. While everyone around you is financing identity through monthly payments, you are quietly accumulating. The gap between you and them widens every month. The people who look rich because of their cars are frequently the least wealthy people in the room. Because wealth isn't what you spend. Wealth is what you keep and what you invest. The most dangerous financial decision you'll ever make isn't a bad investment or a failed business. It's a series of ordinary car purchases made with emotion instead of math, repeated every 5 to 6 years for 40 years, while compound interest works against you instead of for you. Your next car decision doesn't have to look like everyone else's. It just has to move you forward instead of backwards. Do the math before you smell the leather seats. Because once you're sitting in that test drive, the math doesn't stand a chance.